Welcome to the Work in Process podcast. Thank you for joining me again on this episode. I'm so glad that people have been engaging with the content and listening to the content. I'm so happy, and I'm willing to still give you a lot of value from what I've been practicing, applying, and what I've been learning. When we talked about productivity on the previous episode, we established that productivity is an attitude. Productivity is your identity. It is not what you do. So it's an attitude that involves continued development. So if you want to know a productive person, show me a person that is willing to continue developing themselves every day. Then I'll tell you that person is a productive person. Because if your identity is not productivity, you can be productive today in your own eyes, and then tomorrow you can't do that same thing again. That's not productivity. That's just nothing, basically, because you can't sustain what you did the previous day. So a productive person is someone that is given to continued development. So in my quest also for productivity and living a progressive life, I have come to discover that one of the most important factors that contributes to productivity is actually your environment. Yes, your environment. Now, this is an important factor, but some people can say it's not a major factor. But to me, environment is very important. In fact, it is the major factor to me. I knew this way before I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. For those of you that are already reading the book, good for you. Please don't forget to apply the principles you learned from the book. He talked about, making new habits and breaking bad ones. And he also, explained about how making the new habits you want to create, how making it obvious is going to help you start that habit. And I thought to myself, making something obvious is actually a factor of the environment. Even making it easy is a factor of the environment. So maybe the reason you are not productive is because your environment is not encouraging you to be productive. So if you have not read that book Atomic Habits, I'm saying again, please lay your hands on the book. Maybe a soft copy or the hard cover. Just do something to read that book. So I have this funny habit of always keeping different books I want to read around the house. So at different corners of the house, I'll put different books there. That's when I was trying to build a culture of reading. So there's a book in the room, there's one book in the living room, there's one book in the library, because I just always want to be reading, and I knew it was difficult for me. And that's what I said. I will be very real and I'll be very sincere. Reading is not easy. It doesn't come naturally to some people. And I'm one of all those people that reading doesn't come naturally to. But I knew that for me to have access to some level of information and knowledge, I need to engage with reading books. So I started redesigning my environment by always making sure I always have a book in sight. So if there's a book in sight, the moment I drop my phone or I drop what I'm doing, I know I will always carry the book, even though it's just for me to read a line or a page. Then I continued. And then today I can say with audacity and boldness that I am a reader. I read a lot. So if you consider reading, I will encourage you to just, place several books around you, and then one day you will find yourself reading all the books. Same thing with any other habit. You have to design your environment to encourage you to practice that habit. So I don't just want to be a reader. I also want to be a doer, a practicer also, because that's what makes sense to me. People are seeing the result of what I'm reading in my life. So starting somewhere for me in practicing is not bad. So I just have to design my environment to be very conducive for me to practice the tips and the ideas I learned and I read from this book. So if you want to write more, let's say you're someone that's into journaling or you're an author or something, the thing you should start with is carry a pen with you and a jotter with you anywhere you are going. Don't say you want to write. Just make your goal to be I want to always go around with a pen and a jotter. So that's no matter where you get to, you are carrying your environment with you, basically. So anywhere you get to, just bring out your pen and your jotter. Continue to do what you are doing. Then if there's nothing you are doing at that current moment, just write a word down or write some few lines down, some few sentences, or statements. And then you discover that, I've actually written a page today. And then if you continue like that, you'll be shocked that by the end of maybe the month or the year, you have gone really, 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 really far. So one of the keys to productivity is your environment. And here are my thoughts on how to design your environment. My dad will always say, out of sight is out of mind. So always put that material, equipment, or whatever you need to be productive where you can see it and easily reach it. You understand? And also do vice versa for things you don't want to build yourself in. So anything you don't want to develop, take it out of sight. So I don't want to consume sugar too much again this month and this year. I promise myself. So I'm not buying sugar. I don't want to see sugar around me so that I will not be a sugar addict. That's basically the best way to design your environment. What you don't want to do, make sure you can see it. What you want to do, make sure you can see it and easily have access to it. After listening to this, I'm going to encourage you to check your environment and look at it and be sincere with yourself. Is this environment really going to make me productive? If not, I think you should change and redesign your environment if you truly want to be productive. Let's start from there this week. And if it's throughout the month that you want to spend designing your environment, once you can get the design of your environment right, productivity is going to fall in place. So that's what I think about being productive. Environment is very important. So check your environment this week and see how you can redesign it for more productivity. Thank you for joining me again on this episode. Bye for now.